Hey everyone, it's been Inspector, and today I'm going to gush about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, so I hope everyone remembers to like, comment, and subscribe. So, when the first Five Nights at Freddy's game came out, I was in college and I played it. Honestly, the game was too hard for me. I never could manage to ration out my power to make it throughout the night, and I always ended up running out of power around 4 AM, so I'd just be chilling in a dark room waiting for Freddy to come and get me. Although I love the premise of the game, haunted animatronics walking around a pizzeria from the 80s, I mean, I was a huge Chuck E. Cheese kid growing up, so I thought that was the coolest place on earth. Well, second to Toys R Us, of course. But that being said, I thought the games were kind of boring. I mean, I can excuse the first game for being kind of basic because, that's the first. Scott Cawthon probably didn't have enough money or had much money to work with when he was working on the game, and probably he was still working his day job while creating the game. However, the next game that came out, I was kind of disappointed by it being just more of the same. I would have honestly expected to be more, because the first game was such a hit, and I think they can make it so you can walk around and explore the pizzeria, make it sort of a Resident Evil sort of style game. I mean, later games they did add new mechanics and features, but you're still locked behind a desk. However, I love the most recent game that came to the series, Security Breach, where Freddy was the good guy and helping a kid evade the other animatronics and Janny. I never actually played it, I just watched somebody else play it because I suck at stealth games. I mean, just the aesthetics of this really over-the-top 80s pop star look is just really amazing to me, honestly. The whole game was gold, and I really loved the alternate endings too. I kind of want to get the game and play it for myself, but I know I would just end up getting frustrated and dying a bunch of times and end up quitting the game. I also really like the lore of the games too. I used to be subscribed to Game Theory on YouTube, but after all he did was jump on the Five Nights at Freddy's bandwagon and constantly churn out videos about it, I had to unsubscribe. But recently I did go back and explore some of the lore because I fell down the YouTube rabbit hole and was suggested lore videos pertaining to Five Nights at Freddy's and a couple of fan projects too. I know there's a ton of Five Nights at Freddy's media like books and stuff and small Easter eggs and hints in the games, but it's amazing that the fans could piece that together and create a cohesive story from it. I had no idea the lore was so deep, and honestly, I was mesmerized by it. I'm really excited to see what to do for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and what they will do with the lore. I know it's going to be a huge turnout for the movies. Hell, I remember one time I was at PetSmart and I was looking at all the different fancy fish, thinking about starting a fish tank, when two portly kids walked past me with their mother saying they could get a rabbit and name it Bonnie, like from Five Nights at Freddy's, and I looked over to both of them and they're both wearing Five Nights at Freddy's t-shirts. I remember thinking that FNAF was kind of end up as a franchise that used to be good, but just going to end up turning into a merchandise mill to make money off of kids, begging their parents for stuff. I remember when My Little Pony was at its height, and one of the presentations they showed to investors named children as the biggest spenders, because if you think about it, kids don't really have to pay bills or anything. If they get $20 for their birthday, they're going to run to the toy section and pick out a toy from their favorite franchise. Not to mention they're going to beg their parents or any adult in their life for something from that franchise. However, that was close to 10 years ago. Those kids are probably getting their first jobs right now, so the fandom has grown up and I'm hoping that the movie will pull no punches when it comes to delivery. So, even though I never really was in the fandom and I was just kind of on the outside looking in, I know I'm going to enjoy the movie. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this week's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for next week's video. Have a great week, everyone!